Assalamu alaikum, greetings teachers and colleagues. In this demo, we'll be explaining how to use Google Forms to prepare your online exams, the coming exams. And in order for you to access Google Forms, we will explain main two ways to access Google Forms. Then we will go through the main settings, the important setting that you should apply to your form, which will include collecting of emails, responses, and sending marks, and the look of your form, which is the background color, the foreground color, if you have an image as background. Then we will go through the advanced feature that you can use while creating your form. Before that, we will go through the types of questions that you can incorporate, which are long answer questions or answer questions, multiple choice questions, and even questions that will include images inside of the question or images for. Then we will go through the most advanced features you can use in Google Forms, which are how to create an electronic certificate for students. Students will get that certificate once he finish the exam. We can go also through the add-ons and the markings and the default answers that you can mark for your questions through the form itself. So the form will be working automatically for correcting and checking the paper itself. You just have to create the form, it will check the answers, it will check the marks, it will calculate the marks, it will do everything automatically. So we'll go through all these steps. So the first step, as always, you have to access your Gmail account. Now I have accessed my account. So to access your Google Forms, you have main two ways. Okay, this way you can click on the apps here, app icon, then you can go to Docs. When you go to Docs, clicking on this menu, you will see Forms. Then you can start creating your form by clicking this blank form. Or you can go through Google Drive. If you go to Google Drive, then click on New, then go to More, then you can see Google Form. Once you click on this one, it will open a blank form, then you can start editing directly. So before I start editing and adding all the questions to the form, I need to go through the language preferences, because this demo can be used also for Arabic exams. So in order for you to create, to change language for the interface, through Forms, you will not find this option on Google Drive. You have to go through Google Docs, which is this app. Then you will click on the menu, then Setting, then you can change the language here. Once you change it to Arabic and click OK, then your form will be in Arabic. If it's English, then it will be in English. Now let's start by creating a blank form. Once you have created your form, you must go through the main basic option, which is how will your form look like, which is the color of the headers. Like if you can see here, I'm changing the color. Now it's changing here. Let's keep it new. Then you can change the background color, or you can add more colors if you want. Let's make it like this. Okay, and you can choose an image for a header, and I will go through that. So the first thing you will create is the color, background color, and so on. Then you will go through the settings. These settings, you can use them as you want. You don't have to incorporate all of them. You can use them as necessary. So you can collect emails. Once you click on this option and activate it, you will collect emails from recipients. When they finish and submit their exams, they cannot submit it unless they put their email, and we can also discuss that while putting the student name. Then response recipient. Receipts will be sent to students when they finish. So the student will see his marks, his answers, and he will see everything. He answers this correct and answers this wrong, and so on. And you can limit the response to one response. This should be checked always, because some students, once he answers the question incorrectly, if this option is disabled, he can go and edit it again, then resubmit it. So this option should be always checked. Then edit after submission. This will not be used in exam. This can be used in summaries and so on. So see summaries, chart, and text responses. This is for the students, for themselves. So he can see a summary, chart, and so on. So you can collect emails if you want, or just collect the student names and send them receipts after they finish submission, and you can limit the response to one response. Now in presentation, they can see a progress bar. So once you finish a question, the progress bar will move to the right and so on. This should not be checked, of course. Shuffle question in order. This will mess up all the form. Then confirmation message. This message the student will see at the end of the form. So by default, he will see this. Your response has been recorded, but you can change it, like writing, for example, thank you. You will receive your marks soon. Good luck. Okay. You can change it or leave it as default. Now this option is the most important option in the form setting, which is make it as a quiz, and I will go through this. But for now, I will make it disabled so you can see the changes once I finish. Now I set it to collect emails. I will uncheck this also, then I will check it again so you can see the difference in process. So but this should always be checked. Limit to 1 response. Save it. Now my form is created. Now this is the title for the form inside of your Google Drive. This title will not be displayed for the student, but it will be displayed in your Google Drive. So let's say for example it's grade 9. Automatically it will be copied here, but you can change it. So this can be set, let's say for example, or let's say you want the header for the school itself. Like here I have this header. I want this to be shown on my form itself. Now on any Windows, starting from Windows 7 Service Pack 1 and later on, there is a feature called Snipping Tool. Snipping Tool, it will give you the ability to capture a part of your computer screen to be used as a picture. So we will be using this one. So I will click on the start menu, then I start typing SN, then you will see Snipping Tool. I will open it, then I will click here on new, then I will capture this. Now he captured that part of the screen. Then I will click on this button to save it. Then I will save it in desktop. Let's say grade 9 header. Okay, now it's saved. Once I go back to my form, if you click here add an image, then you can add that header or that image as a title for your form. Just browse, go to desktop. So this is the one. Then it will be uploaded directly. Then you can resize it and choose which part can be displayed. Now the student can see this, as you can see here. Now if you want to preview it, show it, and see your progress step by step, you just can click on this icon. Now this one, this screen, the student will see. So this screen you are seeing here, student will be seeing like this. This is a preview for the exam itself. If you go back, you can edit directly. Okay, and you can put a description also for that exam. Let's say for example you want to add this. I will copy it. Okay, go to preview. Now you can see this, or you can keep it as it is, empty, just empty. So let's go now for creating the questions. Now starting from questions, there are two options. Either you put the questions, all of them, in one form, so the student will see a very long form, he can go one by one, or you can put them on sections. I will use the section option because it's more organized so the student can understand very easily. So let's create the first section. Each section you will create, even for the question itself, you must understand it's just like a card. You are dealing with a card. So each question is like a symbol card with an answer, and each section is like a big card with small cards inside of it. So I will create a new section here, add a section. Directly you see this started section 2 of 2 and this section 1 of 2. So on this section I will add my first question. I've already prepared my papers here. Like for this example, the first question I have here is fill in the blanks. So this will be my first section. Okay, fill in the blanks. I will just copy it, go back, fill in blanks. Okay, so inside of filling the blanks you will have the first question. As you can see, it's what? A short answer question. So it will be short answer. I will copy my first question. Of course I'm copying now just to save the time, but you can type if you want. I paste it here. Now this is what? It's a short answer. Also you can add an image for that question, and we'll go through that in the next questions coming. And this is a short answer. But in the first section there is a very important point which you should start with it always before starting adding these questions, which is the student name. In this section, once you add a new question, it will be a paragraph. Now here you write your name below. This is very, very, very important. So it should be required. Once you click required, the student cannot pass section 1 and go to section 2 unless he answers this section, which is the answer. Now let's see how it will look like. I'll click the preview. Now you can see this is section 1. He will not see the section of course, but he will see the title, whatever you write here. Here write your name. Now click next, see the message. This section is required. So he cannot move to see the question unless he answers his name. And of course, you need this while you are getting your marks for your final assessment paper. So the first one in your form will be a question about the student name, and it will be a required field. Then you can start adding more section. So the first section was fill in the blanks. I added the first question. Then you can make it required, which means the student cannot go to the next question unless he answers this question. But for general question, leave it unrequired, and unless it is the student name, of course, so it's very important. I will add another question. You can click here, add, and set the setting for the new question, or you can duplicate this question because I'm filling the blanks. So I will add the same question again. So I will duplicate. I will just change the question. So this will be the second question. I'll just copy paste it. Usually, the AI of Google, it will try to detect the type of the question. Although that I have duplicated it as a short paragraph question, now it changed to multiple choice. Be careful about this while you're creating the form. So we will change it to short answer. You can preview it also. Now this is the first section, the name, let's say, next. Then he can move to the next section. Now, once the name entered and moving to the next section, he will see the questions just like you have entered them in this. Now let's add more section. Now I will add another section for, let's see what type of the questions we have. True and false. So this is the second type of question, true and false. Question, true and false. So first question of true and false, it will be what? A checkbox, because it's a true and false question. I will copy the first question just like I did in the past one. Paste it. So you have to identify the options for the answer. So first one will be true. Second option will be false. Okay. Now I will add another one. The same question. You can click duplicate here, which it will duplicate this question, but you can change only the question. The answer will stay the same. It's true and false question. So I will duplicate it. Just I will take another question and paste it here. Now let's see how it will look like. Okay. Let's preview it now. I'm entering my name. Next. Then these are filling the blanks. This is the first section. Next. Then this is the true and false section. You can use the answers like this, whether it's true or false. Okay. Now let's say you don't want the student to go through sections. He doesn't have to click next, then go back and so on. You want it either one paper. He doesn't need to go through sections. You can delete sections simply at that. So you want all of these questions together. You can drag the questions. Like this question, I want it on the previous section. I'll just drag it after the naming question here. Then this question also, I will drag it here. And this section, I can delete it. I have only this section and this section. Now, this section also, I want all these answers in one section, which is the first section. You just also can just drag and drop. Drag and drop. Drag and drop here. Okay. Now I delete this section. Delete it. Now I have only one section. Then the questions comes like so. You can answer this question and so on. So he can answer them. Once you click on review, now the whole form, it will be just like one paper together. Got it? So either you use sections or you can use it as one full form for a exam as you like. Now next, let's say we added our sections, we added the question types. Now I will add a new section. Okay. After this question, you have to click on the question itself to identify where is the section will be. So after this one, I need a new section. So this section will be like long questions, like questions for answer the following, or one word for the following, or choose the correct option, or choose the correct option. So this will be choose the correct option. I will keep it without section just to make it simply like that. So this will be our first question. I'll just copy the question. So first option is Zuckerberg. Second option, Jack. Third option, Storm. Fourth option is none. Now, I have added a multiple choice question, true and false question, short answer question. Last but not least, I will add a long answer question, which is the questions will start by answer the following. like what is this and what is that. So I will copy my question, I'll use usual, and you can type it if you don't have it ready. So it will be a short or a paragraph. So you choose a paragraph. See here, you will see long answer text. Now let's see our questions preview before we add pictures and images. Now you can see the whole form is just like one page. You will just scroll down through the questions. Okay, and of course, if you made it sections, it will not be pages. It will not be just one page. You have to click next to go to the next section, to jump between true and false, and answer the following and objective type questions and long answer questions. And you can choose whatever you want according to your structure for the exam. Now let's add a new section, because this section will be only for questions that contains images. Questions for like physics, math, and so on. Like for example, here I have chemistry past paper. Question that have an image like this image. Okay, or questions for mathematics that contain equations that you cannot type them, like complicated equations like these equations. Okay, how you can add questions like this? Simply, we will be using the snipping tool to add a picture to the question. Now let's create a question for biology, and a question for chemistry, and a question for math. For example, for biology, we have this question for the eye. So I will copy the question first. So this will be answer the following. This section we will name it answer the following. Then you can add your questions. This is the question. What is the structure of X and Y? Put it. So this will be a multiple choice question, but here I have it as these multiple choices. Now I want to add the image. You can add the image to the questions by clicking here, just like we did the first time. But you have to save the image first. So you will go to your paper or where the image is located, and you can add also images from the internet itself. Once you click on add image, you can take it from your Google Drive if you have it there. You can have it from your Photos Drive if you have it there. You can have it by URL, or if you have a camera attached to your computer system, you can capture it by that camera. But in our case, we will upload it to the PC. But before we upload it, we have to save it. So I will save the picture. I will go to picture. I will go to the snipping tool, just like last time. Click on start, SN, snipping tool, capture it, click on new, then take the image that I want. Now it's captured. I click on save button, name it, for example, I. Save it on desktop. Then I will go to my form. I have the question, I need to add the image to it. Then I will click here to add an image. Okay. Then I will upload the image. We'll go to I. Now it's uploaded. Now this picture is attached to my question itself. Now before you continue adding the image, you must notice, do not choose this option. You will add a separate image outside of this question, but you have to click on this icon just right to the question itself. And also we have another option by adding or importing a question from outside the form itself. So the image can be in another form. You can add it from that form also. But let's keep it simple here. So I will put my answers now. Okay. I will just put two options to save our time. So this will be the first option. I don't know which one is correct. Yes, let's follow the teachers here to correct us. Okay. This is our second option. Now let's view it. Once I view it, of course, you have to enter your name here. This will be the first section. Then you will go on. So let's see, I want to answer this. See, you'll get this message. This is required, just like I said before. Now once you go down, click next, then you have to add your name. I added my name. Next to see the next section. Now this is how it will look like. this is the question and this is the image, and these are the options for the answers. Okay, now what if the image is not for the question? What if the answer or the image? Let's create a new question. Okay, let's say for example I have here for the answers are an image, like this question. This is the questions and the answers are images. They are multiple choice, but all of them are images. So just like I did last time, I will copy it. Here's the question. Okay, now this is the first option. It will be an image. You will do just like we did last time. We have to save this as an image. So I will click on Snipping Tool, New, then take this caption, save it. Let's name it A, and just to save time, I will just save A and B. New, then I will capture B, then I will name it B. Okay, now we can add them to the form directly by clicking on this icon. Now we have uploaded. This is A. Okay, and we have another one. This will be B. So you have now the options as images, the answers themselves as images. In the previous one, we added an image to the question itself, whether it's a long answer, it's a short answer, multiple choice questions. The trick is how to add an image. Now we have created this. Now we want this section. Let's delete this. This section for the name in a separate section, so the student cannot go to all of the questions unless he answers his name and his email, for example. So I will put a section after this, so the section will be here. So write your name below will be in section 1. Now you cannot go to next unless you enter your name. Got it? That's what I wanted to verify. Then next, all the questions that we have: true and false, short answer question, long answer questions, images questions, and answers in images and answers questions, all of them. Okay, now last but not least, which is the settings for marking. Now we want your form to calculate the marks automatically. We want the form to check itself. You don't have to come and check the answers. Now this is very important. You will go to settings, you will go to quiz, make this quiz. Once you activate this option, it will give you another options, which is releasing the marks. The student will get his marks once he finish immediately after submission, or later on after you review it. You review the answers and you can edit the marks, and this option should be always on for my advice. And also he can see a report from missed questions, the question that he didn't answer, and the correct answers and the point values. Now let's save it. Everything will change now. Now as you can see, the settings here, email address. Now email addresses now are collectible, so he must enter the email address in order for him to go to the next sections. Also the name. Now let's see the first question here. Now you can see this option. Okay, so to give a point for the question, you have to add an answer key. So let's say the answer key is, it's 1 mark. Okay, this is the correct answer. Feed readers. Okay, and you can put an answer feedback. Answer feedback, you can give it like a good job, well done, this is the correct answer, and so on, or you can leave it blank. So I will click done. Okay, this is what the correct answer. What if he put a wrong answer? For an example, let's say he put a wrong answer for the question, what he will see. Also, you can put a feedback for that. But the most important point here that you should understand that you are collecting marks automatically for each question. So you will do the same for each question. So this second one, I will add an answer key that will give it, this question will be 1 mark. So this answer will be Facebook. Okay, now I will add answers for all of the questions. Then I'll continue the video to save your time. Then we will see how it will look like at the finish. Okay, now I've added all the correct answers and I've added the marks for my questions. Like for example, this first question in 1 point, and this is the answer. This is the correct answer for readers. And second question, this is the correct answer and 1 mark, and so on. Now let's see how it will look like when the students start performing the exam. Now let's review it. Now very soon we'll enter our email. Just to make it faster, tell him do not delete emails. Just to save the time. Okay, so I'll enter my name. Next, I will answer the questions very fast. Okay, then I will pause the video and show the answers to save the time. Okay, I have entered my name, first section, which I have put it in a separate section to put it as a required, so the student cannot see the rest of the questions unless he enters his name. So in next, and I answer all the questions. This is my answer here, this is my answer, and here I put it, let's make it false, not true. Okay, all of my answers, and I went to the next section, which is images questions, and then I put my answers again in a holding system, and I choose the second image for the second answer. Then I submit it. Now this is the student. Now this is the feedback that I have entered in the stick. Thank you for your answers. You will get your marks soon. Good luck. Okay. Now once you go to the form and once the student. Okay. Now I've entered all of my answers, as you can see. Now I will see this feedback answer. Once I close it, now you can see here I have 1 response. Once you click on it, you will see as an abstract of the answers for all the questions, and you can see the name of the student and the answers, all of them. Of course, the student himself, he can see his answers if you check the box for quizzes here. Once you release the marks automatically after you submit them. Now once you review them, all of them, you will see an option here which is release marks. Once you read them, all of the respondent who responded to the questions, you will get an email notifications. Now let's go to individually. Now I have only 1 question, 1 student answered. This was the summary, and these are the questions, and these are the individuals who answered my form. Now this is the first one, Muhammad. His first answer was incorrect. This is the correct answer. His second answer was correct, and this is 1 point. You can see 1 of 1. The third one was incorrect, 0 of 1, so on. Okay, this is the correct answer. This is the false. Of course, the student, he can see all of these after you release the marks. Now once you review them directly, you can send the marks to the student, so the student can see his marks and how his answers was, and he can review everything. But very important point, I have to mention it again, you have to limit to 1 response, so student cannot edit. After submission, he cannot edit, and you can make it as a quiz. It will give you the ability to put the correct and default answer for each questions and marks, so the form will calculate the marks automatically, and it will check for the answers according to your answer keys. Now last but not least will be the advanced feature of Google Forms, which electronic certificate. Now if you click on this option, then you go to add-ons, it will open the Google App Store. This App Store is just specifically for Google Forms. You can search here, Certify M. Now you can add this one to your Google form After releasing the marks, the student can't see a certificate like this one, a very nice designed certificate to inform him with his grade and his scoring and his name and everything like that. You can use this if you want in your forms. That we all. For any questions or inquiries, you can comment on the comment section below.